Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I'm excited because we're going to be diving into the root chakra and what the root chakra is, what energies are dominated by the root chakra, right? So there's a lot of information. If you haven't seen my other video explaining what chakras are in the first place, I highly recommend you go check that out. It'll give more of an explanation to all of this information, right? But if you have seen these, without further ado, let's hop right into it, right? So the root chakra is located on the pelvic floor at the base of the spine, right? So essentially your coccyx. And so root chakra means muladhara. Muladhara is another word for, root chakra. It's root support in the ancient language of Sanskrit, right? So in my previous videos, I've kind of explained that we are all energy, essentially, right? And that energy kind of organizes itself into an arrangement that you see in the mirror every day, right? But before I can do that, your energy organizes itself into chakras and meridians, right? Before it can organize your cells, before it can organize the physical matter, it has to organize the less physical matter, right? So each chakra has a very specific function, purpose, and vibration. And if you have too much or too little of that life force energy, aka prana or chi, flowing to that energy center, it causes an imbalance, right? And this means the other chakras kind of have to overcompensate in energy, which throws them out of balance, which makes them overactive, right? To compensate for the underactive chakra. So it's not good when these are in balance. So the root chakra is directly associated with functions and behavioral characteristics that have to do with our needs. So this means our survival needs, our safety needs, our need for security, right? This includes the basic needs to keep us alive, like water, food, the air that we breathe, except the shelter over our head, the roof over our head, etc., right? So the root chakra dictates the energy and vibrations and emotions of security with your tribe, community, family, your need to feel like you're belonging somewhere, like you're fitting in somewhere, right? So the root chakra is also associated with your financial security, your financial foundation, your financial power, anything having to do with that financial life. That's going to be a root chakra issue, right? It is essentially the foundation of all the chakras. So like a home's foundation, everything relies on the stability it provides, right? That's the root chakra. It's the home chakra, essentially, right? So this chakra is directly connected to our emotional strength and courage and our willingness to do whatever it takes to survive this world and overcome our fears, right? The root chakra establishes the connections with your physical body, your environment, how grounded your mentality is here to earth, right? So if you're pretty spacey, pretty ditzy, pretty airheaded kind of, you're just kind of all over the place, can't really focus, right? You're not really grounded, you're not really in your body, you're just kind of all over the place. That is a sign of a root chakra imbalance, right? So the root chakra kind of enables us to harness this courage, resourcefulness, will to live, our motivation in tough or trying times. That is our root chakra energy, right? And so the physical manifestations of our root chakra, the energy organized by the root chakra include our skeletal system, so our bones, our teeth, etc., right? Our skin, so an imbalance of the skin might look like psoriasis or eczema or skin cancer or something. That can be a root chakra imbalance, because don't forget, the root chakra is what helps the life force energy flow to all of our cells, right? So whatever these centers govern or dominate, they're helping the life force to flow to these cells and get to our body so we can function at our highest capacity, right? So also your legs, your feet, your immune system, your large intestine, your kidneys, your blood, your colon, the male and female reproductive organs, so your hips, and probably most importantly, the parasympathetic nervous system, right? So The root has dominance over the adrenal glands as well, because the root chakra is the most instinctual of all the chakras, right? The adrenal glands kind of control that fight or flight response. They initiate that fight or flight response in our body, which is usually triggered by fear and is also connected by fear of the future and what the future is going to hold. Like if you're unstable in your life, you're feeling insecure, you're going to be insecure about the future and what the future holds for you. So the sympathetic nervous system stimulates your cortisol and your stress hormones when you're feeling like fear of losing your job, fear of losing your house, fear of losing your spouse, insecurities concerning family environment and home dynamic, home life, right? According to the research of a man named Julian Walker, the very first muscles that are affected by the chakras are the piriformis and the adductors, right? These are the muscles that can get high charge, that can cause uncomfortability. The sciatic nerve also runs through or behind the piriformis, just depending on your body structure, right? And can be pinched, causing you discomfort as well. The adductors are connected to the body's emotional motor system, and this your body's emotional motor system actually produces a physical reaction to your emotions, right? So whatever the emotions you're feeling, your emotional motor system actually sends little messages to your muscles telling them to react to your emotions, right? This is why this is important to figure out. So that root chakra energy is that root chakra vibration is a very masculine take action, take charge type of energy, right? It's often associated with the color red because that is the closest resonant frequency of all the colors, right? The root chakra also resonates with black and gray and brown. And although I know these are not the same colors, they have a frequency that is a close match to this kind of grounding energy, right, that the root chakra gives off. So if I could also pick a theme for this chakra, it would definitely be grounding, right? So this energy center exchanges electromagnetic frequency with the energy of the earth, right? So when the root is closed off or blocked up, we're really going to feel like a lack of appreciation for the physical, right? So hating your physical appearance, hating your tribe, your community, your family, whoever you live with, hating your home life, right? You're going to hate your job, your source of income. You're going to hate basically or dislike or feel uncomfortable with all your kind of foundational structures, right? And so that's totally not good. So you're gonna experience a sense of like not feeling rooted or grounded or not being appreciative of those things, right? And this is a sign of imbalance. So war, famine, natural disasters, hurricanes, tornadoes, any traumas concerning survival are stored and imprinted within the energy center of this chakra, right? So these traumatic memories are eternalized and passed down from generation to generation, carrying those energies within the cells of our DNA, right? Subconsciously creating subtle generational patterns and traits and habits, right? This is why you've seen children that have never met their biological parents ever, right? But they still carry on some of the same traits or demeanors or whatever that their biological parents had, because this is genetic, and not so genetic in the physical sense, but there can be energetic genetics, right? There can be energetics imprinted within your DNA, basically on your lineage line. Boom. So the root chakra connects, it basically connects us to all the energies of our ancestors, all their trials, all their triumphs, the parental energies and beliefs that we were instilled in us while we were growing up. These are all stored here in this center. And this is why some will feel really drawn to kind of go and clear out their ancestral energy. They'll make like rituals about it. They'll jump into some shamanism or whatever, right? They'll do everything that they can to kind of clear the energy of their lineage line, of their ancestors, because sometimes they are being affected by certain issues that they're aware of, but it definitely didn't come from them. It came from their ancestors, and some feel kind of called to go help clear out that energy, right? So they can live a productive life themselves without all this heavy shit on there, right? So in my opinion, it is pretty important to balance out that root chakra first and foremost, because when you try to balance out the other chakras, you're going to lack the stability and the rootedness and the groundedness necessary to transform and have personal growth and whatnot. Like, we just can't grow, change, and blossom if we don't feel safe and secure within ourselves or within our environment or whatever, right? Because again, this chakra is all about safety, survival, and self-preservation, right? So the root is associated with it's really associated with personal power and the needs in your relationships as well, right? So, a basic relationship, it has, basic needs, or it has complicated kind of subconscious needs that you may not even be aware of that you have, right? So it governs our ability and capacity to be understanding towards others, to have empathy towards others, to be close to others, to feel significant to others, right? Our need to belong and fit in amongst others, right? The root chakra governs these energies and how you feel, right? So ultimately, when the root chakra is in balance, this means that your physical or emotional safety, security, or sense of trust has been threatened, whether you consciously realize it or not. Usually it feels great when you open up a chakra, right? Like almost euphoric, almost kind of tingly, right? But unfortunately, that's not the case in my experience with the root chakra, right? So if it's in balance, that means that when you start kind of opening up that energy and letting that energy flow through, you start confronting all the reasons it became unbalanced in the first place, right? So all the stored up electromagnetic energy pockets, that you stored up and you pent up, not meaning to, of course, nobody needs to do this, but it just happens, right? That's something, especially stuff from your childhood, you're going to confront basically what made you feel like others don't take your needs into consideration, and you're going to confront whatever made your home life, your family, your shelter feel threatened. You're going to confront all the demons, any abuse that made your safety feel unsafe as a child, all that stuff, you guys. Anything that made you feel unsafe or insecure within whether that was like your physical harm or your emotional harm, right? If you were emotionally scared to speak your mind because you felt like others would not accept you, that's also a root chakra imbalance. If somebody bullied you, if people made you feel bullied, right? You got to get to the root of all that stuff. And this is why that's that chakra. So a blocked root chakra may turn into behaviors ruled mainly by fear, trying to kind of take back and overcompensate for taking control of physical energy, right? You've lost that kind of control in the past, and sometimes your behaviors develop into ways where you want to take it back in the future. So one example would be if you're constantly moving around as a child and, changing homes, changing schools, changing your familiar and comfortable situations. If your parents had a job where they were constantly having to move around and they constantly were uprooting you and putting you in new social groups and new schools and new houses and new rooms with new things and new stuff, right? So, some people, don't get me wrong, people got to do what they got to do, and our parents do the best that they can with what they have, right? But some people cannot get over stuff like this very easily, right? Some people end up holding on to this energetically and not letting it go, because that lifestyle is what made you kind of subconsciously believe or feel as if your situation could change at any moment, right? Making you feel insecure about the future, having to question where you're going to lay your head at night, question, where you're going to get your food from. It made you question, that your friends could be gone at any second, right? It made you feel powerless because you wanted to stay with your old friends in your own room at your own school. You loved your teachers and everything, right? That was going on back there. But you were given absolutely no choice, and you were completely ripped from that safety and security time and time again. So another example would be if you grew up homeless, right? So that definitely is, that growing up homeless definitely could have threatened your sense of having a stable and consistent foundation, your sense of belonging somewhere, your sense of security. This could lead to the psychology of hoarding items or being extremely frugal if money is ever acquired by you, not wanting to spend money on necessities even when you have the financial means, because now subconsciously you grew up believing that money is scarce and could be gone at any time, right? And so your means of security could be shaken and dismantled at any time, which means you want to hold on and cling on to that money because that's your mentality, right? Even if you need to spend money on the necessities, right? So basically, your unhealthy attachment and dysfunction with that money is a physical manifestation of this subconscious belief that you've developed, right? And understanding it enables you to work through it, which raises your vibration when you unblock and get rid of this belief. And it has a low vibrational frequency kind of trapped in your body in the form of electromagnetic energy pockets, right? So we got to clear that energy out, we got to get rid of it, and we can move forward, right? So this chakra is in balance if you feel like completely comfortable in your skin, like you love your appearance, you love your home life, you love your husband, you love your job, right? You love your means of income, right? And even if you don't love these things about your life, you just have this overwhelming sense of, you know what? I'm capable. I'll be all right no matter what, right? I trust in the universe or God or, whatever you have faith in. And I trust that things are going to line up for me, like no matter what. So it's all good. We'll just take it as it comes. That is balanced root chakra energy, you guys. So, balancing your root chakra can be life-changing and primitive to living a happy existence in this life, in this world. So stay tuned for more videos. I hope that was a little bit helpful. I hope you understand the root chakra a little bit more than you did before. So my very next video will actually be how to balance out an overactive or underactive root chakra and what those symptoms look like. And we'll jump into that on my very, very next video. So I hope this was helpful. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and comment your feelings or your thoughts, any questions, any video topics you want to hear about in the future. Go ahead and hit that little like button. The more you interact, the more it helps others get to this information, right? This message that everybody kind of needs to hear. So, all right, you guys, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful, amazing day. And I will see you all next time.